Welcome back to Finnegan Begin Again. Our radiator is done. Fully recored, refurbished, repainted, beautiful. Ready to be installed onto the engine so we can do our cam break-in without overheating the engine. Because we got to run it for 20 minutes. So with that, today is going to be tank day. We're going to get this tank in and our gas tank in, and then we'll be able to roll it out of the garage to do our cam break-in for 20 minutes at a little bit highly elevated RPMs. And we aren't going to roast this thing because now we have coolant.
We have an old car, his name is Finnegan. Rusty and dusty, a hunk of tin again. Fix him up, gonna make him great again. Bring back the life of Finnegan, begin again.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to alter our thermostat or make it a little bit better. So because the flatheads tend to run hot, one of the things that I see recommended on lots of forums and videos and people that are well in the know is that we punch two 5/32 holes in the flange of our thermostat. So that's going to allow a little bit of water to flow all the time, and then when water gets up to temperature, and this is a 180 degree thermostat, when water gets up to 180 degrees, then this will open and the majority of the water will flow through. But while the water is heating up, there's still a bit of flow going through, and that's supposed to help with keeping the engine nice and cool. And the recommendation is that we do it, you see this crossbar here. Well, this is, there's some mounts that hold the bottom, keep the whole thing together. So we're gonna wanna go 90 degrees from that mounting position, one on each side. So first I'm going to punch it to get a starting hole going. And then 180 degrees out from that. And drop it on the floor, as usual. And now starting with a smaller bit, this one is 1/8. I'm going to drill a pilot hole. And then again on the other side. Make sure we don't get down any down inside. And now we'll go up to our next size, which is 5/32 to finish it off. Okay, there we go. Two 5/32 holes drilled in the thermostat. And the reason I've gone with 180 degree thermostats instead of 160 that you might hear on other places is because I'm running aluminum heads. And from the research I've done, it turns out that I guess they've shown that the best temperature to maximize both the heat that's in the iron and the heat that's in the aluminum, the interface of that is 180 degrees. So I got 180 degree thermostats. Now let's go get them installed in the heads. All right, insert them thusly. Now I'm gonna find a spot in here that it seems that it's maximizing the hole that I've drilled right there. It seems like that gives the most opening between the two. All right, now it's time to get the hoses on. These are the correct formed radiator hoses for my year flathead. And so we're going to go ahead and lose that bolt. Let me find it. All right, I found it. Put it off to the side. We'll put it on there when we're ready. All right. All right, there's one side. Okay, this is the inlet side. The pump draws the water in here and pushes it out the top that we just installed. Thinking ahead, I'm gonna make sure that my ability to unscrew it or tighten it is right here on the outside of that belt. Not that it makes it any easier. Let's get a small wrench. Did I say wrench? I meant screwdriver. All right, one half done. Get the other side done. Be able to get that radiator on. It's time to test fit the radiator in. Now there are two holes here, mounting holes, I would assume. Not sure why there are two, but we are going to put the radiator in, line it up with this, and figure out which one of these holes we're actually going to use. Of course, you'll notice that once we get this radiator in, we're not going to have very good access to the front matter anymore. That's why I want to make sure everything is set up, everything is ready to go, because I don't want it to really be a pain in the butt anymore after this. Once I get the coolant in, I don't want to take it apart. So let's do our test fit and figure out where this needs to be. Okay, it looks like it's the furthest ones out, which is fine by me. Something I had to do a little research on is what is the proper way to install the fixtures for this. So you've got this spring mounted, got a bolt, got a nut, got a spring, got a rubber pad. What I found out is, even though the green book kind of shows the nut going down, from all of the cars I've seen put together, it's actually the nut or the bolt going up, nut and spring on top. So the head of the bolt is purely at the bottom, but this rubber pad does go in between the two. Get that in. All the way up. Whoops. Spring on, and then nut. Seems to be a little long, or at least the spring is not. Because the way I've seen them put on, you should only barely be able to get the cotter pin through the hole. So we might have to add some washers to the bottom of this to make this work. And as you can see, I've anti-seized it, because you do want to have a bit of compression on that spring. Let's see what I can come up with. The solution, I found a bolt. It's about the right size, right thickness. All right, now we'll tighten that down until we can get a cotter pin through. And we'll be good. There's my cotter pin. Ha. Let's see if we can start feeling it. forgot where I left the hole. Oh well, I'll figure it out. All right, got it through. Pinned, other side. We can get these tightened up. Move that so we can get to it easier. Here we go. Other side. All right, radiator installed. And as you can see, the tank there is flat and level. All right. Now it's time to put some coolant in it. I'm gonna fill this with coolant now. I have 3 gallons of premix and 1 gallon of concentrate, 1 gallon of distilled water. So I want to make sure when the concentrate gets mixed up with the water, I want to make sure that it's not solid concentrate that's already in the engine block. So I'm going to pour 2 gallons of the premix in first, then the concentrate, then the water. And then we'll top it off with the last one. This is supposed to be between 4 and 5 gallons of capacity. So let's get started. Clamped, 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 clamped. Everything should be sealed up. Thermostats are in place. Let's make sure. One thing that we don't have, we need to put another, got a hole there, got a hole there. Always check to make sure you're completely sealed up. Got another one of those. I'll install it. Let's just go ahead and put the thermometer in here. I'm gonna go in anyway. So why not now? Right there. We can see our temperature. Oh, it's upside down. Maybe there's an air bubble in there or something that'll get itself through and that can drain down. Because right now it's reading 120 degrees. But this is an original one with the original fluid and everything inside. I found it at an estate sale. And we did put the meter there underneath the hot water at the house and it went up and down. So we'll see. But that should be sealed off now. And if it's not, we'll tighten it up. We gotta be careful because that's aluminum. Now that we're sealed up, let's start pouring in our coolant. See any leaks? That's 1 gallon in. Check to see if we got any. Oop! We are leaking down here. So we have to tighten that up. because I don't want my dog coming out here and licking this up, getting sick. She's a smart dog, but of course all dogs are slaves to their nose. Still see it dropping. I don't know if it's leaking or there's residual. I think I stopped the leaking for now. Let's go with our second gallon. You know what? I'm going to use something I learned from work. You pour it. Did you know that if you pour a bottle like this, it doesn't glug? Where's that leak? Oh, off the side. Phew! Thought I had a leak in the tank on top. You know what? Let's just bring the whole roll over here. We'll probably need them. Drips. See, Annie? Right. Anywhere else leaking? What's this over here? Of course, this is leaking. Time to get the gas tank on, so let's see if I can do it by myself without destroying anything. Not that it's heavy, just awkward. We've got to get our fuel line out of the way. Now you'll notice there's a rubber pad here and a rubber pad here to line these up. All right. I think I have those rubber pads backward. There's only one bolt hole over here and two over here. So I need to switch the rubber pads. But that's easy. Then we'll get them bolted in. Here we are on the driver's side of the car. Notice that these are, what do they call them? Caged nuts, meaning that the nut is inside of this cage, and so it's a lot for body mounts and things that are very difficult to get to. So once you put the bolt up inside, the nut is locked in place so that it won't turn with the bolt, and you can tighten it up. The ones that were sent to me, that were supposed to be, the original equipment, is a standard bolt and lock nut and nut, but this is what the gas tank has. So this fits, let's use it. So get up in there and start to feed through. See if we can't catch that nut. There we go. Caught it. And of course, we have put our anti-seize on there. I'm a big fan of anti-seize, or at least the idea of anti-seize now, because taking this apart, after probably having never been taken apart, it was quite the pain in the butt to get these rusted, seized bolts out. Remember that phrase I was saying a lot? Heat is our friend? Well, it came in handy. Anti-seize now should I need to take this apart. Or anybody down the line who owns this vehicle will maybe thank me for that. Okay, so that's one in, not tightened, but it's in. And now we'll get the second one going. There it is. Hardest part here is finding the hole. Wait, this is family friendly show. There we go. This side, just like the radiator, has a long sprung bolt. Since it's going through the carriage, it's going to be interesting to see how this works, because the spring obviously doesn't go all the way to the hard shaft of the bolt. So once this stops in the carriage nut, because it can't go any further, it's not really going to be serving any purpose. So I was thinking that I could go this way, but that's going to be the same problem, because, you know, the bolt's going to be sticking way up when we reach the bottom of the threads. So what I think I need to do is, if I want to use this, which seems like a good idea, to have a, well, maybe it's not. I don't know. I could get a simple bolt, but this is what came with the kit as being original equipment. So not sure. Maybe I just need to thin out the shaft above the threads so that once this threads through the nut and reaches the end of the thread, it just goes through smooth, and I can use the regular castellated nut with the spring up here or the spring down here. I could figure it out. If worst comes to worst, I'll just get one of the other bolts and bolt it down hard. Well, I'll figure it out. Today is the day we're going to do the engine cam break-in. So first step is to roll this out of the garage so we don't smoke ourselves out inside, because I only have the headers hooked up. And we're just going to fume this place up. So we're going to roll it outside where it's nice and breezy, blow all that away, and we're going to run this engine for 20 minutes and break in the cam. Spotted a couple of leaks that we can fix. Now let's get it back inside the garage, because it's decided to rain, of course, because I brought it outside.